Greetings, everybody. Okay, so what's new? It's a different day every day, and even though things seem like they might repeat themselves, and sometimes they do, it's always a different day. Right, Gracie? Huh? Here's my kitty. She says she knows there's always a different mouse out there. Yeah, so may seem like it's a repeat, and some things do kind of go over and over and over and over and over again. But for the most part, it's a new day today with new stuff. And top of the list, Kilauea. Yes, Pele is at it again. Kilauea, after months of sleeping away, has opened itself back up, and it is erupting. Showers are this morning 30 to 60 feet, I guess, in the caldera of lava jumping. They say that it has been very busy. I've stayed away. I haven't been up there. But I guess there's all kind of volcano watchers showing up for the occasion. Now, I have people at times who have never been here or haven't experienced VOG ask me about that factor. Well, we're getting pretty good VOG emissions off the caldera today. They are heading mostly to the west. So if you're curious, you want to know what we're talking about, it's happening right now. And so I know a lot of people don't believe me, I think, really, or find it hard to believe me when I say that on occasion, the VOG in parts of the western Big Island can get so bad that it can kill crops and keep people trapped indoors. It has happened. It has happened. And so you may be wanting to settle in the west because of the nice, dry, sunny conditions and the wildfires, but beware of the air. This is a good time to check it out and see what we're talking about. And Kilauea is quite a spectacle. And if you can manage to get a reservation for a table at the Rim restaurant in the national park during the evening, be a great time. It's good view from there, great food, good service. Yeah, very interesting place. Now, I have been picking and getting nowhere with these Geopolitics. There are so many of them. Just so many. Even the birds can't get them all. Man. So as you can see, Geopolitics production has been outstanding. Some of the trees up the hill over here have been even more so. The load of fruit has been just insane. I feel like walking up the hill for it this morning. But Ellen has discovered that one of the trees, that's the ones up the hill here, is extra sweet, double sweet over most other Geopolitics we have on the farm. They're all good, but there's one up there that is just pure sugar. It's unique. I've never had a Geopolitics like it previously. So I will be propagating some from that extra sweet tree. It is unique, a very different tree. It also seems to be a bit seedless. I don't know, maybe 30-40% of the fruit I popped up the other day didn't have a seed in it, which is also pretty cool. Well, it's still pineapples. Ellen's been out and about picking. We've been selling. They're still here. I don't think the crop is going to be as large this year as it was last year, but if you need pineapple, we still got it. And we still have slips, tops. Yeah, so if you want to plant pineapple, I have propagation pieces still. Now I move into one of the usually least popular subjects, one of the least popular. if I talk about the bloated Jubal Orange Jesus, then that is probably the most unpopular videos I ever do. But that isn't the subject. Weather. Yeah, I'm talking weather. Now, unlike a lot of people that deny this, it's not true, it's all a lie, it's a liberal conspiracy, I have been following the weather situations for years and years. My stepfather was a meteorologist. So blame it on Ed, that I couldn't just ask Ed a simple question about, hey, Ed, what do you think the weather's going to do today? Well, dude, let's see, we have a southeast breeze moving at 4 miles an hour. There's a high atmospheric haze, and I see cumulonimbus in the west. I believe it'll probably start to rain by about 4 o'clock. Oh, thanks, Ed. That's the way it was. Yeah, throughout my youth. And so I paid attention years ago, many years ago, when they started talking about global warming, climate change, CO2 buildup in the atmosphere. I first heard of CO2 buildup about 1974. One of the guys I was working with was in college, and he had classes that dealt around this type of science, and so he'd come in and he'd give me reports on it. And of course, in those days, they weren't necessarily thinking in lines of the heat and the strange weather. They were talking about the possibility we can get so much CO2 here in the atmosphere that human beings will not be able to adapt their breathing. Yeah, we're used to a certain percentage, and when there's too much of it, we start to go like we can't get any oxygen. They were talking about that a long time ago, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I hope they're wrong. Yeah, I hope that never comes about. Yep. Well, this makes year 3 that we have continuously up the ante as far as how severe a storm can be, how much damage, and so on. It just, for 3 years in a row, the damage has been increasing. This year, top record, man. We got 23 different storms here that caused over $1 billion worth of damage in 23 different places, all in the first 8-9 months of the year. We're not finished yet. Hurricane season's not over, and we got another, 3-4 months there to go before the year's even finished. And I mean, of course, New Year's is an arbitrary line in the calendar. It doesn't really mean much, so it just continues right along. So something is definitely up. Now you can go back and you look at the insurance companies, and they've been saying for decades that we can't afford this. You people got to do something. Deal with it, man. In other words, accept the possibility that global warming can be powered by fossil fuel and human activity. Yeah, well, now instead, I guess they've gotten done appealing for any help with climate change and fossil fuels. Instead, what they're doing is they're just raising insurance rates and dropping whole communities. If you live in Florida, good luck, people. And there'll be other spots. Everywhere in tornado alleys, everywhere in the fire zones, you're going to start to see insurance companies just leave the area and say, forget it. You want to live there? Do it at your own risk. It's kind of where we're going. Lahaina wildfires. Well, we're still looking for some of the bodies. They haven't found everybody yet. Although it's closing in. It's a complete and total disaster. And of course, initially there were people saying, "Oh, it was Jewish space lasers," and then it's been blamed on international real estate investors trying to get their hands on Maui cheap. And of course, there's government protections at the moment. We got some programs set in place just to help see that that sort of thing does not start to occur. Okay. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be some real estate transactions take place in the midst of all this that are going to be less than desirable. The entire situation was less than desirable. Yeah, it's hard to say how all that's going to play out. But the disinformation is still ongoing. I guess if we didn't listen to it, maybe it wouldn't matter. But now I've been hearing it on my channel. Initially it was Jewish space lasers, and then it was this real estate consortium trying to buy up the Hawaii, and so on. Well, the FBI has become well aware that there is a whole bunch of garbage floating around out there, and has taken a look at it, and they have determined the vast majority of it is coming to us from mostly Chinese hackers, but also Russian hackers, Putin's people. They could basically they're so deeply entrenched with their vodka-soaked heads up their Russian butts at war that that's what Putin's got to say about it, that the U.S. should stop wasting money on Ukraine and we should pay attention to Lahaina. Now, this type of stuff creates ripples in our society. People go through and they go, yeah, the government's wasting money on that stupid country over there next to Poland. By the way, who cares about those people? That's what happens when they start to talk that way. Putin's not stupid, he attached to that also that the trial of Donald Trump impending is just another example of rottenness in the American system. Well, I believe I know enough about Vladimir Putin is to know that if he tells me anything in this country is rotten, I know it's squeaky clean. Yeah, he would never say something like that. Never. You think that guy's going to come forward and tell you the truth? No. He knows. He knows what Trump did. He knows because he was part of it. Trump was trying to clear NATO for Putin so he could have Ukraine. That was a very clear message. Trump tried to pull us out of NATO, criticized him, tried to pull all the money out of it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But from everything I hear from some of Putin's generals and a few people around him, that right now he's claiming that he ain't stopping at Ukraine. And see, this was my concern initially when I voiced out about this, and I took heat for it. Yeah, because I generally don't support war. All right, I don't like war. On the other hand, I know what happened during World War II, running the other direction. I could see this one. I'd say, man, this is just a reverse. The Russians move towards the Nazis rather than the Nazis moving towards the Russians. We're just looking at one more. And he's admitted it right out. He has no intention of stopping with Ukraine. On the other hand, that's, again, more of Putin's absolute BS and garbage, because why? If he's in North Korea asking that guy for artillery shells, I mean, seriously, we'd be lucky if half the stuff the guy's got over there actually even fires. Okay, but if Putin's over begging, the kid took the train over, I guess, and they're talking today about whether Korea can supply Russians with weapons. Well, that's pathetic. Yeah, that's pathetic. Having to ask North Korea for bullets. Boy. So that's been ongoing. And again, it's some of this disinformation about our nation here, about Lahaina, has been streaming in straight from people in Russia who influence through social media. But I think the worst ones right now are the Chinese, because they got nothing better to do with their time. And they're the ones that are behind this entire real estate rumor. The idea, if I got this straight, now I don't listen to these conspiracies, okay? I don't travel around in circles of social media where these conspiracies are distributed. All I ever hear is that if the FBI issues a report on Chinese hackers, I will pick it up off the mainstream media somewhere. And that's just exactly what happened here this morning. And according to the FBI, the Chinese are responsible for the rumor about real estate investors. And the claim is, since they don't want to be held responsible for this, and they didn't seem to blame it on the Hebrews either, they said it was U.S. military weather modification weapons that actually caused this entire thing. Boy, I tell you, that makes me really sad. Man, I actually had another one of the viewers ask me this morning in the comments, do I think it could be an international real estate conspiracy? Well, I'll have to say, everybody out there, if you think I'm that dumb that I would believe something like that, so I could comment on it in any way to you, then you ain't too bright yourself. You haven't been picking up much over here, because most people who bring that stuff up over here get trounced. Read the comments, if they're still there. Yeah, some of them Google even deleted, but I got no use for it. It's insulting to me, terribly insulting, that somebody else would think that my brain was that small that I could believe stuff like that. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm smarter than that. Yeah. I'm smarter than that, and that's all there is to it. And you ask me questions like that about what I think, and well, I can tolerate the diss, okay? So, yeah, you guys think I'm kind of dumb just like the rest of you, but sorry, I can put up with that part. What really hurts me is the fact that there are so many Americans that are a lot dumber than I thought they were. This is a period in time where I've had to give up my hope that America was a highly educated and intelligent country. We appear to be almost half a pack of morons. And social media is really, I think, very much at the basis of why this happens. And again, all of this to me is a complete mystery. I don't understand it, because, for instance, when the first, flip phone came around, even, cell phones, I had no interest. I had business going at the time, but I had an answering machine on my phone at home. Somebody wanted to get a hold of me for a job, they leave a message on the answering machine. I get back to them when I get out of the field. I don't want to talk to them while I'm in the field and dealing with anybody else. That was really the basis of why I never bought a cell phone. I did not want people chasing me around at work while I was servicing someone else. That person deserved my undivided attention on their project. Yeah, that's the way I felt about it. Well, over time, as things progressed and social media developed, and we got, Twitter and then X and all this stuff, and people start firing Facebook garbage back and forth, and all this stuff starts flowing around, and I'm looking at it and going, oh my God, whoa, that's hard to believe. Matter of fact, I don't even see how anybody can believe some of the stuff that's being circulated. Well, like I say, I had an answering machine. When you get a hold of me, you leave me a message, send me an email, do something. I'll get back to you when I got time, when I've thought it over, and when I'm ready to make a comment. Social media is not like that. I know, because I go out there every now and then, every now and then you'll catch me. Not so much like, I'm never on Facebook, okay, or any of that kind of stuff. You do find me here, and I thought YouTube was just a video sharing channel when I first came onto it years ago. I didn't realize I was getting involved in social media. Here I am. So I'm stuck with it. I'm not leaving, but it's the one contribution. And if anybody happens to have noticed, I don't seem to agree with a lot of the other stuff that they pass around out there on Facebook, do I? No, I'm the counter. I'm the anti. yes, I'm the anti-media guy. In that regard, that's these things get started. Some hacker, smart guy someplace over there in China dumps this whole story in, about how U.S. weather modification weapons are what caused the fires in Lahaina so that international real estate investors can get a good deal on buying up our tropical paradise. This is the kind of stuff that gets passed around. And we believe it. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of real estate investors that like to get a deal on property. Hey, whatever, that's no special, but we don't need space lasers to do it. We don't need the HARP weather modification programs to do it. I see no particular reason. It's all about Occam's razor, folks. I learned it in math and science a long time ago, and I have used it throughout my life on almost every situation I'm faced with. And what Occam's razor says is that the simple solution to any particular problem is most likely the correct one. Yeah! And tell you what, that proves out well over 90-some% of the time in my life historically that when I opt for the simplest solution, the most logical, simple thing, turns out, yeah, I was right. That the other garbage out there about making it all complicated and all this weird, that's just junk. That's all it is. Every once in a while, does the U.S. government hide information about UFOs? Yeah, I think so. If I've seen dozens of the things, okay, they know more than I know. So they're hiding stuff because they aren't saying anything more than I think I know already, and they're not even saying as much as I think I know. So yeah, it's some kind of conspiracy there. It's a cover. It's probably logical why they do it. It's out of fear. They're afraid of public panic, probably trying to protect recovered technology and things like this. It's about power, control, money, and fear. Fear runs just about everything on the planet. So, it's a couple of them. JFK, who killed him? I don't think Oswald was alone. Nah, it doesn't look that way. There's a lot of people that figure that one too, though. But I don't know. And I'm not about to pass conspiracies around. There's a couple of them I've heard that are pretty logical. Yeah, they make pretty good sense. But they're not fact. We have no fact. We may never have any fact on that one. So wrap things up here this morning. It's busy over here. Yeah, well, aside from the volcano visitors, yeah, that's picked up. There's traffic going up to the caldera, but no, it's the excavators. I was sitting on the front porch over here with Gary, watching excavators go down South Kapua Road. And Gary said, "That's the third one today. That's the third one today." A lot of them, big machines. There's only one reason why those excavators were heading back into Kapua farm lots in Eden Rock. More houses. Boy, I tell you, one of these days there aren't going to be trees left around here at the rate we're going. Development is really picking up here. Yeah, it's really picking up. I don't know. For a while, maybe low interest rates had something to do with it. They probably affect what we call the spec homes here, places that are built on speculation of reselling them. On the other hand, I think there's a number of other factors. Hawaii is generally known for pretty good weather, and the Big Island itself is known for never having had a hurricane hit it. Okay, that's never happened. They've come close, but they've never made it. And that's not just luck. There's physical realities behind all this. This is the biggest seamount on the face of the planet. The deep ocean water offshore here, as the mountain continues heading down to the bottom of the sea at 36,000 feet down from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the sea floor here. It's cold water. That's cold water down there. And it upwells all around the island. And so hurricanes get near it and they go, and they leave. So we don't have that. Our volcanoes can be annoying. Sometimes they can be a little expensive, but life-threatening? No, not that either. You got to be pretty careless to get hurt by our volcanoes. Yeah, they just aren't the kind that's going to kill you. Yeah, so weather-wise, and it's also, I'm seeing people moving in here on this side of the island. Now, I don't know what's going on in the west. I know a little bit about Hove over there. You know, people talk to me from that area in the very south point of the island. But otherwise, I don't know what's going on over in Kona as far as building and things like that. I can tell you that there almost in as much danger for wildfires as Lahaina. Half as much. A little north of Kona, you get up to the Kohala Peninsula up there. Boy, that gets dry enough on the western side that that's equivalent. It's equivalent. Now, I don't know. There is a draw there with a gap that can create intense winds too, depending on what's going on. So they could manage a blast furnace in some parts of Kohala too. So I don't know what's going on there, but here in Puna, well, it's still raining. We are in a drought, but it still rains when there's a drought in Puna so far. And when there's a drought, things are still generally green. They are not crunchy and brown. Yeah, so it's possible there could be some climate change migration involved in all of this. Hawaii has not come up on the radar as far as one of the places that is safer from climate change than others. It's kind of too small of a spot on the map, really. It's a pretty tiny spot. We ain't got a lot of room here. 4,000 square miles on this island, and that's the big one. Okay. So, but it doesn't get a lot of coverage. As oftentimes I'll watch, PBS shows about climate and things like this, and they show the picture of the islands out here, but they almost never talk about them. They very seldom talk about Alaska either. So, anyway, like I say, wrapping up, they're doing a lot of building. There's a lot of building going on here. Hang loose. Aloha. Until next time.
Did that startle you? I'm sorry. Just the bestest cat in the whole world, huh? Yeah, you're just the bestest cat in the whole world. Yeah. Good kitty. Good Gracie. Gracie's a good kitty. Yeah.
Oh, and here's Gracie being a patriotic kitty. Yeah.
Gracie.
Yeah.